Conversations is a movement that seeks to empower, build bridges where gaps exist, and provide culturally relevant education.
Amba samba prenge mama.
Wolaro.
This is the time and this is the hour.
Wolaro.
This is Rondel Benjamin.
This is Jamie Philbert.
And I am an interdisciplinary artist, scholar, Bois woman, and many other things.
I am always a dreamer, a martial artist, a security professional, and a lover of the arts.
We started, well, he started, I didn't start it. He co-founded Bois Academy in what year?
About 20 years ago, we, at the behest of the Kalinda community in Maruga, came up with this method of propagating Kalinda to the rest of the world.
And Kalinda is drumming, dance, ritual, stick fighting, and what would we say? Lavways? Our lavways are our songs, which you just heard us singing a second ago. So they're call and response songs, sort of like a conversation.
Kalinda is a life-giving practice that allows us to restore our self-image, rejuvenate our community and our sense of belonging, and definitely review, see again the ways in which we've brought knowledge to space.
So our strategies, our objectives in the Kalinda Conversations was to empower communities, promote cultural unity, bridge intergenerational gaps, ignite revitalization. We are going very fast, oh my goodness, and cultural unity and critical thinking, and preserve tradition.
And we use word of mouth, social media, normal media, and conversations to create this space.
And inside of looking at the conversations, we wanted to engage the community by asking questions to promote the critical thinking, right? So we asked the question, what is Kalinda? When you ask what is Kalinda, you're also asking who is Kalinda? Where is Kalinda? Why is Kalinda? How is Kalinda? When is Kalinda?
Baluk says the heartbeat of critical thinking is longing to know, to understand how life works.
So inside of this, we wanted to look at how does Kalinda life work, and understanding that Kalinda is a way of life. It is not just stick fighting, it does not just happen during carnival season. So inside of that, the screen is not changing now, Kalinda is a way of life, there we have it. So inside of this way of life, we are constantly dealing with conflict, right? Kalinda is an education in conflict. When we think about Kalinda, it is a freedom practice. Part of understanding the practice of freedom is understanding education. Yes. Very nice, I love this.
One of the things that's elemental in our approach is creating this architecture for respecting our traditions, for creating ways in which the public and the community can then re-engage in our art forms based on spirituality and
Go ahead.
love.
So these two things, respect for the traditions of Kalinda and the emphasis on spirituality, were two topics that we started with. So our first session was in May, the second session happened in June, the third one happened on my birthday in July, and the fourth one happened this Friday, August 2nd.
Some of the challenges we were working on addressing were, one, how the narrative in the space has created this narrowing, this diminishing of the Kalinda practitioners and their imagination, and secondarily, obviously, really trying to create an architecture that allows our call and response, which is not only music, but a way of knowing, a way of making meaning, and injecting that back into the space.
So we found a way to collaborate, because conflict should collaborate. Conflict should allow competence and creativity. Sound and movement in Kalinda is multiplicity. It is voice, it is call, it is response, it is invocation, it is prayer, it is moan, it is mourn, it is proverb, it is law, it is lore. So Kalinda is constantly shifting and allowing a space of multiple meanings. So we wanted the audiences that we engage to have open minds, and how we'd be able to create that. How would we be able to have open dialogue and allow them to see not just their side and their perspective and what they think Kalinda is, but what the practitioners actually bring to space and their identities and their existence and living this. So our impact and outcomes from this was that we engage audiences in person and online. We ended up, for the last 4 months, I wanna say we had about 30,000 plus engagement as a hybrid space. In person, the first one was about 10 to 15 people. The second one was about 30 people. So it continued to grow from there. What we did not expect was for multiple conversations to come up inside of it. So it was culturally relevant to Kalinda, but then we started to speak about things that were happening inside of the society. We also noticed that we don't listen to each other. So people were not having a good time at first at actually hearing people all the way out and hearing different opinions. So we actually used Kalinda to deal with that issue inside of the movement.
Additionally, we ended up leading the creation of an African Diasporic Martial Forum, which had Colombian Eskrima, Cuban Mani, Puerto Rican Bomba.
And that led to the Kalinda Festival, which will happen March 2025, which we will include Kalinda Conversations in as well. So our collaborators amplify the Black Consciousness Festival, New Beacon Books of London, and ECR. Thank you, Kevin, very much for all your support and help. We appreciate this program because I don't think that we've been able to navigate the same way. I am not a social media fan at all, so I had to really be on top of a schedule. And I had this big long plan of, oh yes, I'm gonna do this, do that, and I was like, oh yeah, this is not happening. You're gonna get one post a week and be happy with that, right? And it was, the posts were informative because I wanted to look at best practices guides for Kalinda. Because the space, the stakeholders, the theaters, the schools, everyone had an image of Kalinda from what was historically written and not from the practitioner itself. One of the biggest things was looking at ethical considerations. How do you engage a practitioner and not looking at them just as some random person on the street that you can treat any old type of way, or like we were treated when we were enslaved. Yes? Thank you very much. Kalinda Conversations. When the steamer blow, 40 miles below, don't cry, don't cry.
Mama down in paradise.
When the steamer blow, 40 miles below.
I'm going to this Ababa to get a loaded revolver.
When the steamer blow, 40 miles below. Don't cry, don't cry. From under paradise.